At 99 years old, Dick Van Dyke is still dancing, not in old recordings or nostalgic reruns, but in the present, alive, energetic, and still capable of lighting up a room with the same warmth that once reached millions of television viewers. To the world, he has always seemed like the embodiment of effortless joy. Yet behind that famous smile lived a story far more complicated than audiences realized. His life included rejection, addiction, heartbreak, and reinvention. Understanding how he arrived at such enduring joy requires traveling back to the very beginning, long before fame, awards, and beloved performances changed his life forever. A quiet beginning in Missouri. Dick Van Dyke was born on December 13, 1925, in the small town of West Plains, Missouri. It was the kind of place where life moved slowly, and ambition rarely stretched beyond town borders. For many residents, West Plains represented the entire world. For Dick, even as a young boy, it felt more like a waiting room for something bigger. His father, Loren Wayne Van Dyke, worked as a traveling salesman and was often away from home. His mother, Hazel Victoria Jones, quietly maintained the household. The family life was stable but emotionally distant, leaving young Dick feeling somewhat unseen. Learning to be seen through laughter. In a home where affection was rarely expressed openly, Dick discovered something powerful: humor. When he made people laugh, the emotional distance in a room seemed to shrink. A silly face, an exaggerated stumble, or a clever imitation suddenly brought attention and warmth. These moments gave him a sense of connection he rarely felt otherwise. Comedy became more than entertainment. It became survival. Inspired by the legendary duo Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, Dick studied their performances obsessively. He watched how they used timing, silence, and physical movement. Even as a child, he understood that comedy was not accidental. It was carefully built, like architecture. War years and an unexpected classroom. When World War II swept across the globe, Dick was drafted into the United States Army Air Forces in 1944. At 18, he hoped to become a pilot, but a physical examination determined he was underweight. Instead, he served as a radio operator and later as a staff sergeant. Eventually, he was assigned to entertain troops through the American Forces Network. While he never experienced frontline combat, those performances revealed something essential. Laughter mattered deeply. In moments filled with fear and uncertainty, entertainment became emotional oxygen for soldiers longing for relief. The long road of rejection. After returning home in 1946, Dick had little to his name. No money, no formal training, and no industry connections. What he did possess was a stubborn belief that he belonged on stage. The entertainment industry initially disagreed. He attempted radio announcing in Atlanta, Georgia, but was quickly dismissed. Undeterred, he formed a pantomime comedy duo called the Merry Mutes with friend Phil Erickson. They performed in small clubs and military bases, traveling wherever work could be found. Some audiences loved them, others barely noticed. The years passed with modest gigs and uncertain pay, but Dick refused to quit. The breakthrough that changed everything, persistence, eventually led Dick to Broadway, where opportunity finally appeared. In 1960, he starred in the musical Bye Bye Birdie, earning widespread acclaim and winning a Tony Award for Best Featured Actor. The performance showcased his rare blend of physical comedy, charm, and musical talent. Hollywood soon took notice. Television producers offered him a starring role in The Dick Van Dyke Show. The series quickly became a cultural phenomenon, reaching more than 60 million households and redefining television comedy with its smart writing and warm humor. A cultural icon is born. The 1960s cemented Dick Van Dyke as one of America's most beloved entertainers. His energetic style and natural charm translated seamlessly to film, most famously in Mary Poppins. In the film, he played Bert, the cheerful chimney sweep who danced across London rooftops alongside Julie Andrews. The movie became a classic, beloved by generations of children and parents alike. Though critics sometimes focused on technical details, audiences embraced the joyful spirit Dick brought to every performance. He seemed to embody optimism itself, someone who could turn even the simplest scene into a celebration. Success and the hidden struggle. Behind the scenes, however, Dick's life was far less cheerful than his public image suggested. Fame brought intense pressure, and over time he developed a serious addiction to alcohol. The problem grew slowly, but eventually threatened both his career and personal life. His 36-year marriage to Margie Willett suffered deeply during this period. Though he later sought treatment and spoke openly about recovery, the damage had lasting consequences. The man who made millions laugh often found himself privately struggling with doubt, loneliness, and the difficult work of rebuilding both his health and relationships. Reinvention and late-life love. Despite personal setbacks, Dick refused to disappear quietly from public life. He continued acting, dancing, and performing long after many peers retired. Over time, he also rediscovered something deeply meaningful: love. In 2012, at the age of 86, he married makeup artist Arlene Silver. Their relationship surprised many observers because of the large age difference, yet those who know them describe a partnership built on genuine happiness and mutual admiration. For Dick, this late-life romance represented something extraordinary, proof that life could still offer unexpected joy long after most people stop searching for it. Outliving his era. As decades passed, the style of entertainment that made Dick famous slowly faded. The kind of broad, heartfelt television comedy perfected by The Dick Van Dyke Show gave way to darker, more ironic storytelling. Many of the colleagues who built that golden era of television are gone. Yet Dick remains. His work continues to be studied by comedians, writers, and directors seeking to understand the balance of timing, physicality, and sincerity that defined his performances. Meanwhile, Mary Poppins continues to introduce him to new generations of viewers who discover his magic for the first time. A life that refuses to slow down. Even approaching his 100th year, Dick Van Dyke continues to dance, sing, and appear in public with remarkable energy. His longevity is not simply about physical health, but about attitude. He has often said that staying curious, staying active, and staying playful are the secrets to a long life. Rather than retreat into nostalgia, he embraces the present moment. Whether performing small dance routines or sharing stories with audiences, he demonstrates that creativity and enthusiasm do not have expiration dates. In many ways, his continued presence feels like a living reminder of the joy he has spent decades spreading. Conclusion: the practice of joy. The story of Dick Van Dyke is not merely the story of a successful entertainer. It is the story of persistence, reinvention, and the lifelong pursuit of joy. From a quiet childhood in Missouri to international fame, from personal struggles to renewed happiness, his life proves that resilience matters more than perfection. He once suggested that joy is not something earned after success. It is something practiced daily. At 99 years old, still smiling and still dancing, he embodies that philosophy. Through every triumph and failure, Dick Van Dyke has continued to do the one thing he learned as a child: make the room warmer simply by showing up.